Yes.
Yep, that's all I called you for. Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, welcome to my live. I'm live on YouTube. I'm going to share the link to you. Welcome to my live. I just gotta go grab my mic. So yeah. Okay. Oh, hi Gavin. Right now I'm actually streaming. Yes. You missed my last live. I was drawing, and me and my fans came up with it. Oh crap! No face. Can you guys hear me? If not, I can just unplug my mic. Today okay, good. Today we are going to be reading Hunger Games for bedtime. So, cut up with a blanket. I gotta take care of something really quick because I'm gonna watch my live. Wow, I'm annoying. So, yeah. And I have to share my live to one of my friends, so we're gonna copy the link and send it to her. And then we'll be good. How long are you reading? I'm reading for an hour, and my mom will be here later, so. Oh crap. Please make me fall asleep. Please. Yeah. So if an hour's okay, that's really all I can do for max. Right there. So now we're just gonna see. I can do like an hour and 20 minutes possibly. I'm not sure though. No, I don't think so. So my live's still playing, so I'm just gonna turn on volume. See if I can see it. I am just gonna start the book now. This is longer than expected. I'm almost already done with Hunger Games, so oh hi. So yeah, let's just start reading already. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Part 1. The Tributes. When I wake up, the other side of the bed is cold. My fingers stretch out, seeking Prim's warmth, but only finding the rough canvas of the cover of the mattress. She must have had bad dreams and climbed in with her mother. Of course, she did. This is the day of the reaping. I prop myself up on one elbow. There's enough light in the bedroom to see them. My little sister Prim, curled up on her side, cocooned in my mother's body, their cheeks worn but not so beaten down. Prim's face is as fresh as a raindrop, as lovely as a primrose which she has named. My mother was very beautiful once too, or so they tell me. Sitting at Prim's knees, guarding her, is the world's ugliest cat. Mashed-in nose, half of one ear missing, eyes the color of rotting squash. Prim named him Buttercup, insisting that his muddy yellow coat matched the bright flower. What is Christian rock? I'm just reading. Mashed-in nose, half of one ear missing, eyes against the color. I'm sorry. He hates me, or at least distrusts me. Even though it was years ago, I think he still remembers how I tried to drown him in a bucket when Prim brought him home. Scrawny kitten, belly swollen with worms, crawling with fleas. I'm neither. I don't believe in either religion. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in... Okay, I believe in every religion because, I can't... but I do believe in the Greek gods, so, does that count or anything? You guys don't have to unfollow me though. Like, I'm just reading. Sorry if it bothers you. I believe in every religion though, and Sure, I'm just trying to read. Belly swollen with worms, crawling with fleas. The last thing I needed was another mouth to feed. But Prim begged so hard, cried even, I had to let him stay. It turned out okay. My mother got rid of the vermin, and he's a... How many lies have I told? Y'all freaking me out. I don't know the exact number of lies, but I don't lie very often. But, like, everyone lies. So I don't know the exact amount. Like, I don't count every single time I lie. It's not like I lie very often, so like 20 or something. And he's a born mouser. He even catches the occasional rat. Sometimes when I clean the kill, I feed Buttercup the entrails. He has stopped hissing at me. Entrails? No hissing. This is the closest we will ever come to love. I swing my legs off the bed and slide into my hunting boots. Supple leather that is molded to my feet. I pull on trousers, a shirt, tuck my long, dark braid up into a cap, and grab my forage bag. On the table, under a wooden bowl to protect it from hungry rats and cats alike, sits a perfect little goat cheese wrapped in basil leaves. A Prim's gift to me on reaping day. I put the cheese carefully in my pocket as I slip outside. Our part of District 12, named the Seam, is usually crawling with coal miners, heading out to the morning shift at this hour. Men and women with hunched shoulders, swollen knuckles, many who have long since stopped trying to scrub the coal dust out of their broken nails, the lines of their sunken faces. But today the black cinder streets are empty. Shutters on the squat gray houses are closed. The reaping isn't until 2. Might as well sleep in, if you can. I kind of like Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan, I'm not an obsessed fan and crazy fan about it. But, I like it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Our house is almost at the edge of the seam. I only have to pass a few gates to reach the scruffy field called the meadow. Separating the meadow from the woods, in fact enclosing all of District 12, is a high chain link fence topped with barbed wire loops. In theory, it's supposed to be electrified 24 hours a day, as a deterrent to the predators that live in the woods, packs of wild dogs, lone cougars, bears that used to threaten our streets. But since we're lucky to get 2 or 3 hours of electricity in the evenings, it's usually safe to touch. Even so, I always take a moment to listen carefully for the hum that means the fence is live. Right now, it's as silent as a stone. Concealed by a clump of bushes, I flatten out my belly and slide under a 2-foot stretch that's been loose for years. There are several other weak spots in the fence, but this one is so close to home, I almost always enter the woods here. As soon as I'm in the trees, I retrieve a bow and sheath of arrows from a hollow log. Electrified or not, the fence has been successful at keeping the flesh eaters out of District 12. Inside the woods, they roam freely, and there are added concerns like venomous snakes, rabid animals, and no real path to follow. But there's also food if you know how to find it. My father knew, and he taught me some before he was blown to bits in a mine explosion. There was nothing even to bury. I was 11 then. 5 years later, I still wake up for him, screaming to run. Even though trespassing in the woods is illegal and poaching carries the severest of penalties, severest, wow. I'm not sure anymore. More people would risk it if they had weapons, but most are bold enough to venture out with just a knife. Most are not bold enough to venture out with just a knife. Okay. My bow is a rarity, crafted by my father with a few others that I keep well hidden in the woods, carefully wrapped in water. Okay, you're kind of being creepy here. No offense to you. I have two middle names, Jaden and Harley. Those are my two middle names. Don't say my last name on here, so like, yeah. More. I'm trying to find where I was. My father would have made good money selling them, but if the officials found out, he would have been publicly executed for initiating a rebellion. Most of the peacekeepers turn a blind eye for the few of us who hunt, as they're hungry for fresh meat as anybody is. In fact, they're among our. Okay, let me just see this, guys. That's a lot. Okay. Did I flip the page? I did flip the page. Oh, in fact, they're among the best customers. But the idea that someone might have been arming the scene would have never been allowed. In the fall, a few brave souls sneak into the woods to harvest apples, but always in the side of the meadow, always close enough to run back to the safety of District 12 if trouble arises. District 12, where you can starve to death in safety, I mutter. And then I glance quickly over. Well, if you did that, then I think you're going to have to leave right now because this book is about death and people killing each other for money. This is Hunger Games. So if you're Christian and you believe in God and you're very religious, I think you should leave because this is a very violent book after you get into it. Sorry. Bro, I literally want to play COD so bad. Honestly, it seems interesting. But if y'all believe in God, why are y'all obsessed with Jesus? I don't get it. If you believe in God, how are you obsessed with Jesus and that's all you talk about? I don't know. But the idea that someone might be arming the scene when I've never been allowed. Oh, even here in the middle of nowhere, you worry someone might overhear you. When I was younger, I just scared my mother to death. The things I would blurt out about District 12, far about the people who rule our county, Panem, from the far-off city called the capital. Eventually, I understood this would only lead us to more trouble. So I learned to hold my tongue and turn team. Ugh. Just a second, guys. I'm gonna stop reading for a second, so just hold tight. I gotta see something. Oh. I'm not watching my live, so people are watching. Wait, I can't have you be my moderator. Gavin, you are gonna be a moderator. Can I move one of these? Sorry, I'm just trying to do something. Okay then, cool. So I'm just gonna continue reading. Brother Andrew 444. I hope you know that this book is literally a super violent book. Bye everybody, I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind. You're not leaving me behind. I'm fine without you on my channel. Goodbye. This is a violent book. I'm getting into the violent parts. Not gonna miss you. Literally, you're by me. Okay, day 9. And apparently, Christians don't leave anyone behind. So I'm not sure how you're leaving us behind. Because, like, Christians don't. Can you guys still hear me or, like, not? I don't think you guys can. Can you guys still hear me? You guys can't hear me, can you? Okay, is it working? Okay, I'm just gonna read now. Yeah, you guys can hear me better without the mic. Okay, where do I read? In the fall, a few brave souls sneak into the woods to harvest apples. But always inside of the meadow, always close enough to run back to the safety of District 12, if trouble arises. District 12, where you can starve to death in safety, I mutter, and then I glance quickly over my shoulder. Even here, in the middle of nowhere, you worry that someone might overhear you. When I was younger, I about scared my mother to death. The things I would blurt out about District 12. About the people who rule our country. Panem, for the far-off city called the capital. Eventually, I understood this would only lead us to more trouble. So I learned to hold my tongue and to turn my features into an indifferent mask so that no one could even read my thoughts. Do my work quietly in school, make only polite small talk in the public market, discuss little more trades in the hob, which is the black market, where I make most of my money. Even at home, where I am less pleasant, I avoid discussing tricky topics, like the reaping, or food shortages, or the Hunger Games. Prim might begin to repeat my words, and then where would I be? In the woods, waits the only person whom I can be myself, Gale. I can feel the muscles in my face relaxing, my pace quickening as I climb the hills to our place, a rock ledge overlooking a valley. A thicket of berry bushes protects it from unwanted eyes. The sight of him waiting there brings on a smile. Gale says I never smile except in the woods. Hey, Katniss. Oh my gosh. Hey, Catnip, says Gale. My real name is Katniss, but when I first told him, I barely whispered it, so I thought I'd said catnip. Then when this crazy lynx started following me around the woods looking for handouts, it became his official nickname for me. I finally had to kill the lynx because he scared off game. I regretted it because he wasn't too bad company, but I got a decent price for his pelt. Look what I shot! Gail holds up a loaf of bread with an arrow stuck in it, and I laugh. It's real bakery bread, not that flat, dense loaves that we make from our grain rations. I take it in my hands, pull out the arrow, and hold the puncture in the crust to my nose, inhaling the fragrance that makes my mouth flood with saliva. Bread like this is for special occasions. Oh God, no. Still warm, I say. He must have been at the bakery at the crack of dawn to trade for it. What did it cost you? Just a squirrel. I think the old man was feeling sentimental this morning, says Gail. Even wish me luck. Well, we all feel a little closer today, don't we? I say, not even bothering to roll my eyes. Prim left us a cheese, I say, pulling it out. His expression brightens at the treat. Thank you, Prim. We'll have a real feast. Suddenly, he falls into a capital accent. Or is it capital? Capital accent as he mimics Ify Trinket. Oh, no one's watching. Someone's watching, I'm just gonna go. If anyone's there. Hi! Hello, who's over there now? I just want to go grab a drink really quick. If you can chat, would you like me to start from the beginning? Or would you like me to just keep going? I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, wrong page. Thank you, Prim. We'll have a real feast. Suddenly, he falls into a capital accent as he mimics Ify. Effie? Why does everyone always leave? The maniacally upbeat woman who arrives once a year to read out the names at the reaping. I almost forgot. Happy Hunger Games. Oh, someone's here, so I'm gonna start reading. A few blackberry bushes from the bushes around us, and may the odds, he tosses a berry in high arc towards me. I catch it in my mouth and break the delicate skin with my teeth. The sweet tartness explodes across my tongue. Be ever in your favor. I finish with equal verve. We have to joke about it because the alternative is to be scared out of your wits. Besides, the Capital accent is so affected, almost anything sounds funny in it. I watch as Gale pulls out his knife and slices the bread. He could be my brother. Straight black hair, olive skin. We even have the same gray eyes. But we're not related. At least, not closely. Most of the families who work the mines resemble one another this way. That's why my mother and Prem, with their light hair and blue eyes, always look out of place. They are. My mother's parents were part of the small merchant class. Hello. But we're not related, at least not closely. Most of the families who work for the mines resemble one another this way. That's why my mother and Prim, with their light hair and blue eyes, always look out of place. They are. My mother's parents were part of the small merchant class that caters to officials, peacekeepers, and the occasional steam customer. They ran an apothecary shop in the nicer part of District 12. Since almost no one can afford doctors, apothecaries are healers. My father got to know my mother because on his hunts he would sometimes collect medicinal herbs, and send them to her shop to be brewed into remedies. She must have really loved them for her home to leave her home for the sea. I try to remember that when all I can see is the woman who sat by, blank and unreachable. One second, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to text one of my friends back. I'm so sorry. Where was I? Just trying to find where I was. I try to remember that. Sorry, I try to remember that when all I can see is the woman who sat by, blank and unreachable, while her children turned into skin and bones. I try to forgive her for my father's sake, but to be honest, I'm not forgiving the type. I'm not the forgiving type, yeah. Oh, yay, 3 people, hello. Gail spreads the bread slices with soft goat cheese, carefully placing a basil leaf on each while I strip the bushes of their berries. We settle back in a nook in the rocks. From this place, we are invisible, but we have a clear view of the valley, which is teeming with summer life. Greens to gather, roots to dig. Fish iridescent in the sunlight. The day is glorious, with a blue sky and soft breeze. The food's wonderful, with the cheese seeping in the warm bread and the berries bursting in our mouths. Everything would be perfect if this was really a holiday. If all the day off meant was roaming the mountains with Gale, hunting for tonight's supper. But instead we have to be standing in the square on 2 o'clock, waiting for the names to be called out. We could do it, you know, Gale says quietly. What? I ask. Leave the district. Run off. Live in the woods. You and I. We could make it, says Gale. I don't know how to respond. The idea is so Prismas. Am I Filipino? I thought you left. I'm not Filipino. Filipino. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Filipino. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm just. No, I'm Scottish. As you can see, I can just go into this. This is British. What am I talking about? Wow. But I'm Scottish. I'm Scottish, American, and Japanese. Not Filipino. I'm like disrespecting people, and I'm really sorry. But I'm Filipino, not Filipino. Sorry. If we didn't have so many kids, he adds quickly. They're not our kids, of course, but they might as well be. Gail's 2 little brothers and his sister, Prim, and you may as well throw in our mothers too, because how would they live without us? Who would fill those mouths that are always asking for more? With both of us hunting daily, there's still nights where game has to be swapped for lard, shoelaces, or wool. Still nights when we go to bed with our stomachs growling. I never want to have kids, I say. I might, if I didn't live here, says Gail. But you do, I say, irritated. Forget it, he snaps back. The conversation feels all wrong. Leave? How could I leave Prim, who is the only person in the world I'm certain I love? And Gail is devoted to his family. How could I leave Prim, who is the only person in the world I'm certain I love? And Gail is devoted to his family. We can't leave, so why bother talking about it? And even if we did, where is this stuff about having kids come from? There's never any. Oh my gosh. Where did this stuff about having kids come from? There's never been anything romantic between Gail and me. When we met, I was a skinny 12-year-old, and although he was only 2 years older, he already looked like a man. For a long time, it took a long time for us to even become friends, to stop haggling over every trade and beginning to help each other out. Besides, if he wants kids, Gail won't have any trouble finding a wife. He's good-looking, he's strong enough to handle the work in the mines, and he can hunt. You can tell by the way the girls whisper out about him when he walks by in school that they want him. It makes me jealous, but not for the reason that people will think. The good hunting partners are hard to find. What do you want to do? I ask. We can hunt, fish, or gather. Let's gather fish at the lake. We can leave our poles and Let's fish at the lake. We can leave our poles and gather in the woods. Get something nice for tonight, he says. Tonight, after the reaping, everyone is supposed to celebrate, and a lot of people do, out of relief that their children have been spared for another year. But at least 2 families will pull their shutters, lock their doors, and try to figure out how they will survive the painful weeks to come. We make out well. The predators ignore us on a day when easier, tastier prey abounds. By late morning, we have a dozen fish, a bag of greens, and best of all, a gallon of strawberries. I found the patch a few years ago, but Gail had the idea to string mesh nets around it to keep out the animals. On the way home, we swing by the Hob, the black market that operates in an abandoned warehouse that once held coal. When they came up with a more efficient system that transported the coal directly to the mines, to the trains, the Hob gradually took over the space. Most businesses are closed by this time on reaping day, but the black market's still fairly busy. We can trade 6 of the fish for good bread, the other 2 for salt, grease, Greasy Say, the bony old woman who sells bowls of hot soup from a large kettle, takes half of the greens off in her hands for the bony old woman who sells bowls of hot soup from a large kettle, takes half of the greens off of her hands in exchange for chunks of paraffin. We might do a tad better elsewhere, but we make an effort to keep on good terms with Greasy Say. She's the only one who can consistently be counted on to buy a wild dog. We don't hunt them on purpose, but if you're attacked and we'll take out a dog or two, well, meat is meat. Once it's in the soup, I'll call it beef. Greasy says with a wink. No one in the scene would turn up their nose at a good leg of wild dog, but the peacekeepers who come to the hob can afford to be a little choosier. When we finish our business at the market, we go to the back door of the mayor's house to sell half of the strawberries, knowing he has a particular fondness for them and can afford our price. The mayor's daughter, Mage, opens the door. She's in my year at school. Being the mayor's daughter, you'd expect her to be a snob, but she's all right. She just keeps to herself, like me. Since neither of us really have a group of friends, we seem to end up together a lot at school. Eating lunch, sitting next to each other at assemblies, partnering for sports activities. We rarely talk, which suits us just fine. Today her drab school outfit has been replaced with an expensive white dress, and her blonde hair is done up with a pink ribbon. Reaping clothes. Pretty dress, says Gail. Matt shoots at him a look just to see if he's a genuine compliment or if he's just being ironic. It is a pretty dress, but she would never be wearing it ordinarily. She presses her lips together and then smiles. Well, if I end up going to the capital, I want to look nice, don't I? Now it's Gail's turn to be confused. Does she mean it, or is she messing with him? I'm guessing the second. You won't be going to the capital, says Gail coolly. His eyes land on a small circular pin that adorns her wrist. Real gold. Beautifully crafted. It could keep a family bread for 5 months. Or 4 months. What can you have? 5 entries? I had 6 when I was just 12 years old. That's not her fault, I say. No, it's no one's fault. Just the way it is, says Gail. Mage's face has become closed off. She puts the money for the berries in my hand. Good luck, Katniss. You too, I say, and the door closes. We walk toward the scene in silence. I don't like that Gail took a dig at Mage. But he's right, of course. The reaping system is unfair, with the poor getting the worst of it. You become eligible for the reaping the day you turn 12. That year, your name is entered once. At 13, the final year of eligibility. Okay. So what's the point of reading? Hi. Who are you? Who are you? Sorry, I was late. Mother! Hi. I'm gonna go grab my phone really quick. Oh, I'm back. Do I have a boyfriend? Oh, shit, okay. Do I have a boyfriend? What? What type of question is that? No! Literally, I'm freaking 11, bro. What the heck, bro? I don't even know who you are. Mom, this brother Andrew guy has been asking me weird questions. Like, look up in chat. He's been saying, he's like, are you Christian? Are you Filipino? What's your middle name? And then he's been asking me all these weird questions. He's like, I'm Christian. I don't know. He's just kind of creepy. But I'm going to read for the last 15 minutes I have on here. So, let's get started. Oh, Jada, yes, I have school tomorrow, but I'm awake because why not? Because my bedtime's at 10. This is strawberry milk, and I can't get it to mix. Where am I? The mayor's daughter, Madge. Wait, no, that's not where I was. We walked towards the team in silence. I don't like that. Gail took a dig at Madge, but he's right, of course. The reaping system is unfair, with the poor getting the worst of it. Milk. I'm trying to find out where I was. There it was. But here's the catch. Say you're poor and starving we were. You can opt to add your name more times in exchange for Teresa. Each Teresa... Wait, would it be Teresa or Teresa? I'm not sure at this point. Okay. You may do this for each of your family members as well. So at the age of 12, I had my name... Wow, 2 people left. Wow. So at the age of 12, I had entered my name 4 times. Once because I had to. And 3 times for Terra's... Oh, it's Tesserae. Tesserae for grain and oil for myself, Prim, and my mother. In fact, every year I have needed to do this, and entries are cumulative. So now, at the age of 16, my name will be in the reaping 20 times. Gail, who's 18, has been either helping or single-handedly feeding a family of 5 for 7 years, will have his name in 42 times. You can see why someone like Madge, who has never been at risk of needing a Tessera, can set him off. The chance of her being drawn is very slim compared to us who live in the seam. Not impossible, but slim. And even though the rules are set up by the capital and not districts, certainly not Madge's family, it's not hard to resent those who don't have to sign up for Tesserae. Gail knows his anger at Madge is misdirected. On other days, deep in the woods, I've listened to him rant about how the Tesserae is just another tool to cause misery in our district. A way to plant hatred between the starving workers of the seam and those who will generally count on supper and thereby ensure that we will never trust one another. It's to the capital's disadvantage to have divided us among ourselves. He might say, if there were no ears to hear but mine, if it wasn't reaping day, if a girl with a gold pin and no terrace had not made what I'm sure she thought was a harmless comment. As we walk, I glance over at Gale's face, still smoldering underneath his stony expression. His rages seem pointless to me, although I never say so. It's not that I don't agree with him. I do. But what's good at yelling about the Capitol in the middle of the woods? If it doesn't change anything, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't make things fair. It doesn't fill our stomachs. In fact, it scares off the nearby game. I let him yell through. Better he does it in the woods than in the district. Gale and I divide our spoils. Leaving 2 fish, a couple loaves of good bread, greens, a quart of strawberries, salt, paraffin, and a bit of money for cash. Dude, what is up with the cat? The cat is angry. The cat is very angry. Meow. Just kidding. Kurome and Akame live in the house now, so it's both of them because they're meow cats. At least what's up with the chat, I'm like, I don't know. And a bit of money from little crazy cats, yes. Gale and I have and a bit of money for each. See you in the square, I say. Wear something pretty, he says flatly. At home, I find my mother and sister are ready to go. My mother wears a fine dress from her apothecary days. Prim is in my first reaping outfit, a skirt and ruffled blouse. It's a bit big on her, but my mother has made it stay with pins. Even so, she's having trouble keeping the blouse tucked at the back. A tub of warm water waits for me. I scrub off the dirt and sweat from the woods and even wash my hair. To my surprise, my mother has laid out one of her lovely dresses for me, a soft blue thing with matching shoes. Are you sure? I ask. I'm trying to get past rejecting any offers of help from her. For a while, I was so angry I wouldn't allow her to do anything for me. And this is something special. Her clothes from the past are very special to her. Of course. Let you put your hair up too, she says. I let her towel dry it and braid it back up on my head. I can hardly recognize myself in the cracked mirror that leans against the wall. You look beautiful, Prim says in a hushed voice. And nothing like myself, I say. I hug her because I know these next few hours will be terrible for her. Her first reaping. She's about as safe as you can get, since she's only entered once. I wouldn't let her take out any tesserae, but she's worried about me, that the unthinkable might happen. I protect Prim in every way I can, but I'm powerless against the reaping. The anguish I always feel when she's in pain wells up in my chest and threatens to rise. The anguish I always feel when she is in pain wells up in my chest and threatens to register on my face. I notice her blouse is pulled out of her skirt and the back again, and I force myself to stay calm. Tuck your tail in, little duck, I say. No TikTok copyright here. We're not getting copyrighted today. And threatens to register on my face. I notice her blouse is pulled out of her skirt in the back again, and I force myself to stay calm. Tuck your tail in, little duck, I say, smoothing the blouse back in place. Prim giggles and gives me a small quack. Quack yourself, I say with a slight laugh, the kind only Prim can draw out of me. Come on, let's eat, I say, and plan a quick kiss on the top of her head. Yes. The fish and the greens are already cooking in a stew, but that will be for supper. We decide to save the strawberries and the bakery bread for this evening's meal, to make it special, we say. Instead, we drink milk from Prim's goat lady, and eat the rough bread made from the Tessera grain, although no one has much of an appetite anyway. 5 minutes left. Okay. At 1 o'clock, we head for the square. Attendance is mandatory unless you are at death's door. This evening, officials will come around and check to see if this is the case. If not, you'll be imprisoned. It's too bad, really, that they hold the reaping in the square, one of the few places in District 12 that can be pleasant. The square is surrounded by shops, and on public market days, especially if there's good weather, it has a holiday feel to it. But today, despite the bright banners hanging on the buildings, there's an air of grimness. The camera crews perch like buzzards on rooftops. Only add to the effect. People in vile and silently sign in. The reaping is a good opportunity for the capital to keep tabs on the population as well. 12 through 18-year-olds are herded into the roped areas marked off by ages. The oldest in the front, the young ones, like Prim, towards the back. Family members line up around the perimeter, holding tightly to one another's hands. But there are others, too, who have no one they love at stake, or who no longer care, who slip among the crowd, taking bets on the two kids whose names will be drawn. Odds are given their ages, whether they're seam or merchant, if they will break down and weep. Most refuse the dealing with the racketeers, but carefully. These same people tend to be informers, and who hasn't broken the law? I could be shot on a daily basis for hunting, but the appetites of those in charge protect me. Not everyone can claim the same. Anyway, Gail and I agree that if we had to choose between dying of hunger and a bullet in the head, the bullet in the head would be much quicker. The space gets tighter, more claustrophobic as people arrive. The square is quite large, but not enough to hold District 12's population of about 8,000. Latecomers are directed to the adjacent streets where they can watch the event on the screens as being televised live by the state. I find myself standing in a clump of 16s from the scene. We all exchange terse nods and then focus our attention on the temporary stage that is set up before the Justice building. It holds 3 chairs, a podium, and 2 large glass balls, one for the boys and one for the girls. I stare at the paper slips in the girls' ball. 20 of them have Katniss Everdeen written on them in careful handwriting. 2 of the 3 chairs with Madge's father, Mayor Undersea, who's a tall, balding man, and Effie Trinket, District 12 escort, fresh from the Capitol with their scary white grin, pinkish hair, and spring green suit. They murmur to each other and look with concern at the empty seat. Just as the town clock strikes 2, the mayor steps up to the podium and begins to read. It's the same story every year. He tells the history of Panem, the country that rose up out of the ashes, a place that was once called North America. He lists the disasters, the droughts, the storms, the fires, and the enroaching. Oh my gosh, she just got here. I'm just ending the live. Oh my gosh. I'm literally just ending the live, Jesus. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for watching. I will go live on Sunday. And tomorrow. Tomorrow's just gonna be us watching anime, so if you want to join, go ahead. Thank you all for watching so much. And I will see you on Thursday at 5 o'clock MST. Bye!